Hey everyone, Jeremy here, aka Mr. VW, and what you see me holding is the prototype of the STV multi-cart that Darksoft has sent for me to do some extreme testing for them. Now, I'm going to give you an overview of this cart today. I'm kind of winging it, so bear with me. I'll let you see both sides here. Now, the way this is going to work is all the games will come with a micro SD card, which you will plug in right here, and then you will use the jumpers right here, and you'll use that using a list that's provided to you. You can see I got a list of all the games and the jumper settings right here, and you can see I'm about halfway done testing every single game. I'm loading each game and testing it. And you'll use the jumpers to set it. On this prototype, the far right jumper here is 1 and it moves over like that, so you'll start, for example, we look at this sheet here, the top one there, the 1 means it's got a jumper, so we would go all the way to the far over here and there would just be that one jumper, and that would load up that game right there, which you can see is one of the 5 or 6 games that isn't working right now because of protection. But for example, if you wanted to load Baku Baku, you would just change the jumper from number 1 to number 2. It says right there. Alright, so all these wires and everything is stuff that was added after the prototype was made. These jumpers and the wires will be integrated as traces on the final design, so you shouldn't have to worry about those. Also, what we have here is a little speaker that's wired to it. There's going to be 2 little leads. This is optional. You don't have to use this. And I think in Darksoft's original video it was a little bit confusing, where he said you had to wire or solder some wires to the motherboard. You don't have to. See what he did here is he just soldered a small little speaker so that whenever the game finishes loading, it plays a sound to let you know that the game is finished loading. You can reset the motherboard and start playing the game. Instead of using the speaker, if you wanted to, you could run 2 wires from the cartridge, since you basically would never have to remove your cartridge to play any games again, because it'll just load all the cartridges or all the games onto this one cartridge. You could just go ahead and wire 2 of these 2 leads instead of the speaker, wire it to a certain part of the sound portion of the motherboard, and then it would just automatically play the sound through your speakers instead on your cabinet, if you wanted to use it in a cabinet. Or I'm sure some of you would rather have like a small speaker like this, and you can modify a cartridge case, because this will fit with some modification. You'll just have to cut out a part at the top for this portion right here. I'll show you that in a second. And then integrate the speaker into the cartridge, or into the case somehow. I'm sure some of y'all will do that, those of you that just use super guns and don't have cabinets. Let me show you. I've got something to compare here. This is the inside of an STV card. This is Virtua Fighter Remix. This is one version. This one just happens to use an EEPROM here. I've also seen a version that uses a flash chip, kind of like these, but smaller, just like the BIOS on the CPS3 cartridges. But if you can see the form factor right here, it's even got the little groove in the side. It fits exactly on top, and all as you can see at the top, the only thing that's bigger on Darksoft's cartridge is where the memory card will plug in. So if you want to modify a cart, you will have to just cut a little area out where you can plug in the card or whatever, and you can put it in a case. So I wouldn't start doing that yet until the final version comes out, and I do a video on the final version and let you all see what it looks like, and I'll probably modify one of my cases so you can see how to do it. But yeah, next section I'm going to show you loading some games, so let's go. Alright, if you go to start up your cartridge and there's already a game loaded, if the jumpers are still the same for the other game you have loaded, and you either have no card in here, it'll automatically boot the last game saved onto the cartridge. Now what you'll see is when you turn it on, one of the 2 LEDs right there is going to come on, and it's going to start booting up the game. And as you can see, I'm testing using the mod BIOS, so I can switch different regions or whatever. However, we turn it off. if I want to change the jumper and put a different game up here, I'll just move that over one to get the next game loaded up. You're going to see both LEDs come on right there. See, both of those LEDs come on. And what you're going to see also is that it's going to tell you there's a cartridge error because it's loading the game, the new game on there, so it's going to give you a cartridge error. So you're going to let it load up, and then one of the two LEDs is going to go out and it's going to play a sound for you. Let it do that. It only takes about a minute. Should be about done. Heard that little sound play and then the LED went off. Now you're going to have to power cycle. It still says error, so you're going to have to power cycle your motherboard. And this one time when you turn it on, only the one LED is going to stay lit, and it's going to start loading the game. Like I said, I'm using Mod BIOS, and I'll do a little section showing you the Mod BIOS also, where you can download it. See it? Now so far I've tested about half of the 45 games. There's 5 that are known not to work. I also found one more, and they're detailed on the forums right now. I'll be doing another review of the final cartridge when it's done, like I said. You're supposed to be able to change the sound that plays when the game loads. I haven't figured out how to do that yet. I got to get up with Darksoft about that. Some kind of file format issue you have to some restrictions you have to follow. I'm not sure. It doesn't seem to work right for me, but the default sound that he sent with it does work. So basically that's it. I'll give a more extensive one when the final comes out. I'll show you where to solder those wires at and all that good stuff, so stay tuned till then. Okay, so as I said, I'm using the STV Mod BIOS version 1.11 to test all these games. And you just turn on your system when it's installed, and it gives you the choice of these 3 regions: Japan, Europe, and USA. And you just hold the button down that corresponds to the region you want. Hold it down until after the splash screen of the game, and then the game will start in that region. Here's the website you can go to get information about the Mod BIOS. You get your instructions. You can also download the file from here. If you want to burn one yourself, you just need a 27C400 EEPROM. Just burn it, replace the BIOS that is on your motherboard, and it'll work as I detailed a few seconds ago.
Sit, Kishi, sit. Good dog.